Now to this year's flu vaccine, which seems to be missing the mark. The CDC says the vaccine does not offer much protection against the dominant strain this season, and it's too late to make a new one. Still, the CDC is encouraging everyone to be vaccinated. They say the current vaccine is effective against other strains of the virus. Dr. Devi is a physician and an associate professor at NYU's Medical Center, and she joins us in the studio. Doctor, welcome back.
Oh, nice to see you.
What is the CDC saying here? Because everybody who's had the shot thinks, they're protected, and they're not.
Well, even in past years when there was a better match, they weren't completely protected. It was the idea that if you got the flu vaccine, that there was some group immunity, so you'd be protected against certain strains and other people would be too. Now this year, that match isn't as good as they'd like it to be. Part of the reason is because they make the vaccine in advance, right? So it takes at least 6 months or so to make the vaccine, and they start making it usually in January, so it'll be ready in October. So this year, kind of like a weather forecast that wasn't exactly right, the forecast about which flu strains were going to be available wasn't as ideal as they wanted. So it still is protective, but there are certain strains that it's just missing.
It's not about the flu virus changing then?
Well, some of it has to do with mutations. So the idea behind a vaccine is that it's helping the body's immune system to recognize the threat. So in the past, like if we talk about 100 years ago, if the flu virus, entered your body, the reason that you would die or have these complications is because your immune system didn't recognize it as a threat. So it gave it time to actually cause problems. Now the issue is if you get the vaccine, it recognizes it, it has some time to fight the dead virus, and then when it sees the live virus, like if you get exposed to flu, then you can actually fight it. So here in this case, even though there are mutations, it still looks generally the same. It would be like if I changed and wasn't wearing a suit or had a different color hair, you still might recognize me. So it's that same idea that there are some modifications. It does look a little bit different, but it's not completely different. So the vaccine can still help you.
So how effective is it?
Well, we don't know the exact number, because it depends not just if you get the vaccine, but if the people around you get the vaccine. So it's less effective than we would hope, but it's still definitely worth getting, especially people who are in contact with small kids or older folks who don't have the same type of immunity.
It's early in the season, but do we know how serious the flu season is going to be this year?
It's hard to tell. I mean, this new strain, we don't know that it's more dangerous, just that it's a little bit different. So that's one thing. But if people have symptoms, they talk about antiviral medications that can help with flu. So that's good. If you feel like you're getting the symptoms, it's good to go in early because, they're not as helpful once you start developing.
But it hasn't been a big flu season early this year,
It hasn't
right?
been so far, no. So that's that's promising.
On that one. Dr.
Exactly.
Devi, it's good to see you. Thank you
Nice
very
to see
much.
you too.